Good evening, Niner Gang. I got my special guest, Jason Aponte, here. I really appreciate him being here tonight for us. And if you guys don't know who Jason Aponte is, man, you guys are watching 49ers content all wrong. So you guys better get right tonight, all right? You guys better go follow him. And he's going to show you guys what he's got tonight, man. So I appreciate you being here, man. We were talking a little bit behind the scenes, but hope you're having a great day overall. How's
Appreciate
that
you,
going?
bro. Yeah, no, I appreciate you, bro, man, and thanks for the invite. I always love to help out and jump on. And at the end of the day, all we're doing is talking about the team that we're super passionate about and that we love. And harder on
Oh, yeah.
certain days and harder in certain weeks and days than others. But that's the ups and downs, and that's what makes you a fan. But I appreciate the invite, man, and make sure you guys are subscribed to Wolf stuff, man. Wolf is a very passionate 49ers fan, and you guys will love the content.
Oh yeah, man! Like you said, the valleys and the high mountaintops, man. With this team, geez, they pull on our heartstrings, man. But a little bit of news today. If you guys haven't heard yet, Delaney Walker retired, and long illustrious career for him, man. Super happy for the great career he had after the 49ers, and even especially during the 49ers, right? But yeah, he announced his retirement today. And a little bit more news that goes along with that is actually the 49ers are having their 2012 49er reunion. So Jim Harbaugh is going to be paying the 49ers a visit this week. Whoever decides to attend the reunion is going to be there. I saw an interview with Anthony Dixon today I was watching, and I tried to get my questions in there for him too as well. He said he'll be there. He's trying to get a hold of Patrick Willis. He texts Patrick Willis, Ian Williams, and he doesn't know who's all showing up, but it's going to be pretty awesome to see, man. And we'll see if him and Kyle Shanahan shake hands at all.
I don't think that's as big of a deal as people said. Like today, it came out that Kyle was excited as hell that he texted Tim Kawakami saying he was excited that Harbaugh was going to be there. Wouldn't be shocked if Harbaugh spoke to the team before the game. So yeah, I mean, the discussion that you're kind of alluding to right now is more about the weekend that's about to happen for a team that is well revered. All of us, we all have our fondest memories of the 2012 season. Obviously, didn't end the way that you wanted, but that still was a super fun season. And I think that Kyle's gonna be fine with it. And maybe Harbaugh goes in there and says something like, he comes in with his khakis and it inspires the guys and they go out there and win a game. But yeah, the discussion has grown a little bit about Harbaugh and Kyle. And this whole week is going to be centered around that as opposed to being centered around a Super Bowl rematch. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is, could you have picked crazier timing? I don't know if you could. This is on the brink of 49ers when they're talking about all this trade Kyle Shanahan type stuff. And then Jim Harbaugh is going to show up for a celebration. But I don't think Kyle Shanahan has a choice. Either way, he has to come up with a win this weekend. It's not a must-win game, but, just for getting the 49ers back on the right track, man, this could be a huge confidence builder. And I got some of the stuff labeled here that about the upcoming game. I checked out the weather. It should be clear, mostly sunny, like 65 degrees. So glad there's no rain there. We shouldn't have that excuse if that plays any factor. Now I see an advantage with the Kansas City Chiefs having to come over here later on in the week and having hopefully a little bit of jet lag. And so have the opportunity to get them on that advantage. And then what was the other one that I had here? Oh, it disappeared. You got any thoughts on that, though?
Yeah, I think, look, Andy Reid's record after a loss is troubling for the 49ers and 49ers fans. They don't lose back-to-back games, especially coming off. So it's almost like as a 49er fan, you almost hope they won that game against the Bills last week on Sunday. Or, so they don't come in here angry. But, Andy Reid doesn't lose back-to-back games. Having said that, Kyle Shanahan, Jimmy Garoppolo, they don't really lose back-to-back games either. So something's got to give. And I think the most interesting part of this game is going to be this is the first real test for this 49ers defense. And reinforcements may be on the way. Jason Verrett was a full go today. Jimmy Ward has a chance to play with the club. He was rocking the club today in the interviews. Nick Bosa was limited today. That's not small pickings, right? Like, and then if you get Mooney Ward back and you're starting Mooney and Verrett, and you got Jimmy Ward back, and you got some Nick Bosa guy back who still leads the league in pressures, even though he's missed a game and 3 quarters, which is completely mind blowing. I mean, it's the biggest test this defense that we hold in high regard is going to face so far this season. So, it's important to have reinforcements because of what we just saw, or what I saw up close on Sunday in Atlanta, unfortunately.
Yeah, man. How was that actually?
Amazing. I mean, I've been to a few stadiums. I've been to SoFi. I've been to Mercedes-Benz. I've been to Tampa Bay, Philly. I've been to Chicago. I've been to Levi's. SoFi and Mercedes-Benz stadiums are on par with each other. But if I had to give the nod, it's Mercedes-Benz Stadium for 2 reasons. The Transformer dome that actually closes and can at any point, and the concessions are ridiculously well priced. Talk about this. 2 sandwiches, 2 drinks, and a side dish of fries, $22. Where on earth could you find something like that?
Not in Santa Clara. Not in the East. I'm probably getting a bag of popcorn and a soda for $22.
Right. Not on the East Coast either. Yeah. That is it's a beer this size. That's like like pretty much just a taster.
Yeah. I guess you could say that it's fair to say that the Mercedes-Benz Stadium is the Mercedes-Benzes of stadiums.
Good call. And I wouldn't disagree. And, for me, selfishly, I got to see one of my favorite rappers perform in between timeouts, and that was pretty cool too. So, Mercedes-Benz Stadium is dope, man. It really is. It's the best stadium I've been to. Sorry, 49ers fans. I know you want me to say Levi's, but I don't even think many 49ers fans have the opinion that Levi's is the best stadium they've been to either, unfortunately.
Did you ever get to go to Candlestick?
No, I didn't, unfortunately. As an East Coaster, right? When Candlestick was going on. Yeah, and not only that, I'm not gonna lie, and I might as well just put it out on the table. It's kind of broke. It's hard to make my way over this way. When I was able to start making money is when I was able to travel out to Levi's. So yeah, I missed the boat. I truly regret not being able to ever go to Candlestick before I went.
I regret it for you, bro. I loved it, man. Yeah. Last time I went to a game there was actually when we played the Giants. Not in the NFC Championship that year, but it was that same year we met the Giants in the NFC Championship. But during the
and the last stop with Eli Manning, he was about to score, and I think Justice Smith knocked the pass down at the end of the game, and that ended the game for the 49ers. Or was it the one that
probably
they won?
It probably was. Well, I mean, from what I remember, we closed them out pretty easily. So I was going into the NFC Championship with a lot of confidence after that Saints game. Like, we already whooped the Giants during the regular season. I don't remember very much about the game at all, except for being there. But that was a while back. And
I remember it. So the Niners were up for a bit. Me being on the East Coast, I have to deal with a lot of Giants fans, and I remember taking my then girlfriend, my now wife, and watching the game, and me being the only 49ers fan in there. And I remember Eli Manning had a chance to close it out, and Justin Smith knocked the pass down at the end of the game. And let's just say Giants fans didn't take it too well. But that was one of those moments I felt like, okay, this team is special. There's something going on with this team. Like, they're moving in the right direction, because there have been so many years of them not being good.
I think since we got this team coming here, the 2012 team coming back for the reunion, I think it's fair to reminisce a little bit. How do you feel on if we kept Alex Smith as a starting quarterback back then?
In 2012, or are you talking about when they moved him for Kaepernick
after he got hurt? When he should have been the starting quarterback when he came back from injury, and they ended up going with
Cap. Yeah. I supported it. I still do. And look, there's no hindsight's 2020, right? Like, you can obviously look back and say, "Oh, you made the wrong decision." When I look back at those playoffs, because I remember them fondly, the 49ers defense slid in the playoffs a little bit, right? Because Justin Smith was injured. He wasn't exactly himself, right? And they gave up some big plays. So, in the Packers game, Cap throws a pick 6. but he scored 40 something points.
Yeah.
And then in Atlanta, they're down in a blink in the NFC Championship game. They're down 17-0, right? Like, and then Frank Gore brought him back. It is what it is with Alex Smith. And I think that we owe him everything when it comes to reviving his career and not only this team. But if Alex Smith was the quarterback and they go down 17-0 in Atlanta, season goes up in flames. And then and think about this. Even this Green Bay game, Alex Smith wasn't scoring 40-something points. So I think they did the exact right thing at that moment. Obviously, hindsight's 2020. You look back and you watch Alex Smith continue his career. But I was fully on board with Cap, just because he was explosive. He can do more. He was able to throw guys back into games, something the 49ers haven't had for quite a long time.
Yeah, man. I loved what Kaepernick did, all of his success, man, but I just hated it for Alex Smith so bad.
Yeah.
And, from what we hear, a lot of his teammates did as well. They just lost a lot of that confidence in Jim Harbaugh for that reason. Now, like I said, I was watching Anthony Dixon earlier today, and he had nothing but great things to say about Jim Harbaugh, man.
Of course.
And you would imagine so. That's probably more of a Jed York and Trent Baalke versus Jim Harbaugh type thing. But a little bit of other news today. Dak Prescott, he's been cleared to play this week. I know it's not 49ers news, but it's NFC news, because we're going to talk a little bit about the state of the 49ers today. And that includes the state of the NFC. So Dak Prescott for the Cowboys has been cleared to play from that thumb fracture. From what I've seen, I read the article, and he's going to be playing a mock game before they go into the game this week. And they want him to throw 40 to 50 times. Pretty crazy stuff, man. This is kind of starting to sound like some Kyle Shanahan stuff, rushing somebody back from injury. But
a little bit. But at the same time, 49er fans, plug your ears. No, I need you to listen. I don't want you to plug your ears because you want to hear this, but Dallas is scary, man. Dallas is very scary. I mean, they won games with Cooper Rush. Fine. They lost to the Eagles. Okay. Oh, wait.
Undefeated.
A backup quarterback. Oh, yeah. A backup quarterback eventually after 4 games got figured out. Oh, okay. Well, the defense is very good. They still have those weapons. You throw Dak Prescott back in there. I feel legitimately, I am sick to my stomach admitting this and saying this, that I am afraid of the Dallas Cowboys. I was not afraid of them last year. When they came in, and they had their home game. I was not afraid of them last year. Mm-hmm. But when you look at what Micah Parsons has done, he's been incredible. Dexter Lawrence, Trevon Diggs has actually stepped his game up this year. The Dallas Cowboys are a problem. When you look around the NFC, the one thing that should comfort 49ers fans is there's a hierarchy right now. Sure, the Philadelphia Eagles haven't lost a game. Give them their props. They deserve it. Do we believe that the New York Giants are unbeatable, even though they're 5-1? I wouldn't say that. Dallas Cowboys have been right there pretty much this entire time, and now Dak's back. Tampa Bay struggling. Green Bay can't get it done. The Arizona Cardinals are an absolute mess. The Rams are they beat the Panthers, okay, but you can't play the Panthers every single week. It's where in the NFC do you start to get nervous if you're looking at this team in the way that you do in terms of being a Super Bowl contender? Dallas is one of those teams. The
NFC least.
Yeah. I mean, but you know what? But look, 6-0, 5-1, 4-2, right? So they've got 3 teams right now. So right now, the NFC West is looking like the NFC least because it's all 3-3 teams and a 2-4 team. So it's crazy how the tables turn pretty quickly. I don't believe that the New York Giants are what
they say they are.
Yeah, or what their record shows right now at this point. But I do believe that the Eagles are going to be a tough out because they are very good, and I do believe that the Dallas Cowboys are going to be a problem.
Yeah, man. Just because, especially like their quarterbacks and the type of quarterbacks we struggle against on defense. So that's what gives me a little less confidence against them, man. But yeah, definitely Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, not so much. But you worry, man, because the Cowboys are packing up wins with their backup quarterback, 4-1 as a starter. And now you get Dak Prescott back. Oh, my God.
Yeah, and Michael Gallup's back now. And that's the thing is like, a lot of people were quick to rush to judgment in week 1 when it was CeeDee Lamb and Noah Brown and all these guys and nobody knew. Michael Gallup's back now. CeeDee Lamb's still there. Dalton Schultz has been injured. They're about to get a bye week soon. Like, yeah, I hate to say it. It's just when you have a defense as good as the Dallas Cowboys do, because it's pretty on par with the 49ers, you can beat anybody. You can beat anybody. And that should be the way you're thinking about it.
Especially when you don't have a game. See, they're probably if he plays this week, he's probably going to be in the game manager role.
But it's the Lions. It's the Lions. I think
exactly.
he can try some things out. It's the Lions. They can they can ease him in this week.
Yeah.
They can win this game with Dak Prescott playing at whatever capacity, ease him in. They're going to win this game this week. I'd be shocked if the Detroit Lions went out there and they went crazy on them.
I would and I wouldn't, because the Lions have been dialing up some offense, man. So
no,
that's been crazy to see.
They've got a good offense, definitely, but I do think that the Cowboys defense is too good. Yeah, the Cowboys defense is in the same way that even if the Lions were playing well and they were playing the 49ers, you would say the 49ers have enough to choke that off, and I think Dallas has the same thing.
Yeah, straight up. Jeez.
David's not wrong. He's not wrong.
The whole NFC East are front. Easy schedules, won't see real competition until the playoffs if they don't fall apart first. Yeah, man. And that's the other thing to look at. Everybody was like, oh, the Cowboys last year, #1 offense, but who did they face? 49ers were battle tested. So that's going to be something to look at. Hopefully the 49ers get at least the #2 seed in the playoffs. And we'll see, because I don't think both the Eagles and the Cowboys could get the 1 and the 2 seed. That can't happen. So
no, it has to be a division winner. Yeah,
that's going to play a big part in it, trying to get a home game for that first game and not having to go on the road.
Now you got to start winning games.
But first of all, playoffs. You want to talk playoffs? I think first we got to talk the current state of the 49ers, man, because it's starting to look a little rough again. And it's very hit or miss on what the 49ers got going on right now. Do you want to give some thoughts on that?
After wins, you feel very good because they take care of business against teams that they should, and they beat the Super Bowl champions, right? The Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah.
There's 3 losses to teams that are inferior by roster standards, and we keep having the same questions. So we're in week 6. There's 18 weeks in the season. We're a third of the way through the season. And every time we have a loss, we're right back here asking the same questions about play calling, about the offense, about what can they do. I think everything is solid on the defensive side. Regardless, I know every single starter was basically injured in Atlanta. We know that. We're good, Yeah. But that defense only gave up 21 points. There was a fumble return for a touchdown. I think everything with the 49ers' success largely hinges on the offense. So it's funny. The Bears game, you can throw that out because it was Trey Lance's first real, opener. Monsoon, okay, throw that out. And you got Denver, and you got Atlanta. And it's like every single time the team loses, you're here asking the same questions about offensive play calling, offensive scheme, shooting yourself in the foot. It all boils down to execution, Wolf. It really does. It all boils down to execution. But the problem is you can't keep relying on that and saying, well, it's execution. Oh, we're this close. We're about to turn the corner. It's 6 weeks. You only get 12 more weeks. So when we check on you in the next third of the season, when does it start to roll? And then the Chiefs are in town. The Rams are next. You get a bye week. And then the Chargers, who will largely be healthy on offense. Keenan Allen will be back. All those guys will be back. You're going to need your offense. So again, this team will go as far as the offense goes. But the questions that surround this team after losses remain the same because that's what they are. The defense is what it is. You know what that is. But you have to be able to, in this league, when things are not perfect, because it's never going to be your defense just shuts everybody out. When your defense isn't playing well, can your offense pick you up? And I think right now, we're still left with these questions. Sure, drop passes, penalties, pulling things back. But every week we're talking about these same things. We're talking about the same things. Like, I'm not throwing it at Jimmy Garoppolo's feet. It's everything. It's a missed block on the backside. It's a drop from Ray McLeod down the field. It's a penalty from Brendel on an absolute beautiful ball from Jimmy Garoppolo. So at what point does execution, because someone has to be held accountable when the team doesn't execute, at what point does execution become the head coach's problem? And I'm a big Kyle Shanahan guy, but we're a third of the season in, and we have the same questions after these losses.
That brings up a great point that I was going to bring it up later, but I'll just bring it up right now. It says, I put importance of certain personnel for situational football, pass blocking being favored too much, ? That's how I feel, man. Like a lot of this, the execution is the personnel being overmatched. Like they're trying to pass block too much, and Jimmy Garoppolo had a shitload of time to pass the ball in this game. So you should have started putting guys in like Dwally and getting the ball to other guys, not damn Charlie Warner, man. And hopefully he's in the doghouse in some fashion this week, man, because that's pretty ridiculous. But you know, the offense is leaning more towards the pass now than I think we've really ever seen before. And the big question mark around the O-line, they're having to stick other guys in there like Charlie Warner to pass block and be another offensive lineman. But if the offensive line is doing good already as it is, get other guys in there and do different formations. Like Garoppolo seems to do better when he's in like a 5 wide rather than a 2 tight end formation.
He's been better in shotgun because I do think that they have a bit of a problem at center. What I will say is this about Charlie Warner is if George Kittle is running the route that Charlie Warner was running, everyone would be all over George Kittle, right? Yeah. So Kyle Shanahan, in a way, you know, everybody wants creative play design. Everybody wants the genius to come out. Well, what's more genius than sticking out a guy who you know is a pass blocking, run blocking tight end and then run him out and have a wide open look? I get it. He's not a pass catcher, but he's got to bring that in. So, like, in certain ways, what Kyle's doing is he's using what the defense knows about his offense against them. If you see Charlie Warner on the field 9 times out of 10, he's blocking in some capacity. But when you sneak him out and he's wide open, because he's done it twice, and neither have been completed. You know, Garoppolo threw one where, you know, maybe the ball placement was a little bad. He looked over the wrong shoulder and, you know, okay. But what's the excuse for when the ball's right here, right? Like, you know, so I do want to give credit to Kyle in that way. I have complaints with Kyle Shanahan in this game. Trust me, I was there. I lost my voice yelling at him and his team. But I do like the idea of that a little bit. And then as far as like the run pass thing goes, I think situations matter. I think game flow matters. You know, and I'm glad that you mentioned the doghouse because Jeff Wilson didn't get sent into the doghouse because he fumbled for a return, but Matt Breida gets sent off. You know, it's like, it's again, like that's a little bit of my frustration with Kyle. Like if you want to be a hard ass down the line, be a hard ass 1 through 52.
Consistently.
Yeah, right. Like when George Kittle catches a pass and he fumbles the ball and it turns over, if you're going to be like that, and I don't want to see this happen, you're going to have to say, Kittle, sit down. Like, sit down now. You got to sit down. Like, but you don't do that because he's too vital. But when it's other guys, you're just quick to like, you know, either cut him, trade him. Like Dante Pettis got sent off, you know, Matt Breida, same thing. Like I don't mind the mindset because Bill Belichick does it and he's pretty successful, right? But at the same time, it's like, damn, man, like, you know, like, why is it that some guys get a pass, man? Like a guy drops a pass, he can't play anymore. Debo drops a pass, cool, get it. You can't bench Debo, got it. Ayuk drops a pass, cool, you can't bench. I get it, but it's like, if I was an employee and the manager continued to let someone else have things slide, and I came in and I punched in 2 minutes late and you want to write me up, I got issues with that. You know, that's the best way I could put it.
Yeah, straight up. That's one of the questions I have coming into this week because he wasn't in the doghouse for this game, even though he fumbled in the beginning. Now, how much of the scheme was that a factor? Like he had to play because of the scheme. I'm curious to see how it goes this week if he's going to be in the doghouse. Tevin Coleman being the starter, Jeff Wilson being sprinkled in there, and then maybe TDP because TDP is supposed to be back too, right?
He was activated. He got 1 snap at fullback in this game on Sunday.
Yeah, so, and I'm curious to see how he could do, man. Of course, we're probably not going to get to see JP Mason, but hopefully, cross our fingers, we'll see what happens with that. I think I'm curious to see how this defense goes moving forward, man, because you were talking about it's been like the same kind of narrative every single week. This offense, and we lose Mosley at the end of last week, and against the Panthers. Not, I guess, yeah. Anyways, so at the end of the game, so then we have to start Womack on the outside, which I thought he should have been on the inside since he's a little weaker in the run game. Put him somewhere where he has more help in the center of the field, not on the outside by himself on an island, especially against guys like, Kyle Pitts. That was super weird to me. But I'm curious to see how what's that?
That speaks to the depth, though. Like, you would think, oh, every time it's your time to shine.
Yeah.
He's completely regressed, like, to a point, and people don't like to hear that. When I was at training camp, Ambry Thomas consistently got whipped, like consistently. And it's not about what I want to happen. I'm just telling you what I saw, and they're telling you, like, when it gets so bad that both corners are out, that you start both of your slot corners on the outside. Ambry Thomas, you got to pick it up, man. You got to pick it up, man.
And did you see, because of course, like you said, we want him to be successful. Like, we saw the potential he had last year, and I guess he just didn't put the work in during the offseason. But did you see the press conference where D'Amico Ryans was asked about him and whether No? So one of the journalists, they asked D'Amico Ryans, so how's Ambry doing? Does he have a chance to play? And D'Amico, like with a straight face, no emotion, says,
no.
Ambry is fine. And then he waits for the next question. And they ask him about Mosley, and he goes on and on and on about Mosley, man. So, I mean, that says a lot about it just right there.
Yeah. It's almost the same thing. It's almost the same thing at training camp. Because I hung out with KP, my editor at Niners Nation, and Jordan Elliott. We're all Niners Nation now. He went and he spoke with Anthony Lynn about the running backs. And he listed every single running back and talked about them except Trey Sermon.
Yeah.
Trey Sermon. And Trey Sermon got cut. So sometimes it's not about what you hear. It's about what you don't hear. And if you can pick up on those little things, then you know who's in favor. And then look no further than the snaps on the field. I mean, again, you're down to your cornerback 4 and 5, and Ambry Thomas can't get on the field. It's alarming. It's alarming.
Yeah, straight up. Here we go. It was inevitable, man. It's inevitable. How does it feel, Jason? The Yankees made the ALCS, and that also versus the Astros again.
I mean, I don't want to talk about baseball because I talked about it yesterday for a little bit. I was really excited after the Yankees won, and I got a lot of negative comments. Someone said, just turn this into a baseball podcast. It was literally 3 minutes of me and Andrew talking about it. But I'll be honest with you, they're tied 1-1 right now in the 5th, and my heart's racing, and I don't like it. It's not a good thing. The Houston Nationals are a very good baseball team, and they seem to have the Yankees numbers. So this is not going to be fun unless the Yankees find a way to get it done. But it's 1-1 right now, but it is what it is. It's not a baseball podcast.
You know what? I was telling my little brother he better tune in today, man. He's half Puerto Rican, and he's a baseball fan himself. I don't particularly like baseball. I can't watch baseball, basketball. It's not my thing. It's football and boxing for me. That's pretty much it. Nice. But he's a big Giants fan, man. So because when I told him you were coming on, he's like, "Oh, my people, man." He's all, "Those are my kind of."
Oh people. yeah. Because a lot of people get it confused. I'm 100% Puerto Rican. My mom's from Puerto Rico. My dad was born in the Bronx. Like, yeah. So like, I'm 100%. Unfortunately, not unfortunately. It's just nobody ever thinks that when they hear me speak ever.
Oh yeah, I feel it, man. Maybe we've been Americanized a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a big old Giants fan, so he might not be like my people anymore. Do you know a little bit about actually the Taino tribe?
I do, and my father is very big about that, and big about tracing our roots and everything. Because my father and my family is from Ponce in Puerto Rico, and the Tainos, he actually like correlated it straight back to them. My father's been very big in that. We have dream catchers around the house, all of those things. So like it's so much about that. And my father has always been at the forefront of understanding that. So I'm glad that you brought that up because yes, my father never, ever let me not understand that.
Yeah, right on, man. Hell yeah. Got to pay homage to the past, man. A lot of our fallen ancestors, man. If people don't know the history about what Columbus did to the Taino tribe, those islands, man, they went from like population, I think it was like 3 million to like 330,000 or something like that.
Only Christopher we acknowledge is Wallace.
That's
That's
what
it.
I
That's
said.
all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm
That's
gonna
what I
say.
was saying on my channel too. I was like, Happy Indigenous Peoples Day last week.
Happy Indigenous Peoples
Yeah.
Day. Nobody
Yeah.
celebrates Columbus Day. Nobody.
Hell yeah. That's what's up, bro.
Yep.
So we'll see if my brother pops up in the comments at some point. But anyways, yeah, moving on, man, to the defense. Mahomes being a mobile quarterback, and that's typically what we struggle against. I hope with Bosa being back, we play a lot of contain, and that this defense takes a step in the right direction, because the Falcons were playing pretty conservative the whole game. I would say it's not like they were doing anything too crazy, and the defense was still struggling. But towards the end, they started to get bringing outs and a lot of stops. So how do you think the defense is going to do moving forward, man? I have confidence in D'Amico Ryans.
I think they'll be fine. I think that it's okay to tip your cap to the Atlanta Falcons for executing their game plan. I think when I watched back on the film, I saw a lot of the things that made me excited about the Shanahan running game. Because Arthur Smith runs basically the same things. You've got linemen literally at the second level, getting two linebackers, getting out in front. I mean, they created some holes. I mean, they had like one or two big runs. And after that, I felt like the 49ers defense did a very good job. But I do think a lot of credit needs to go to not only Arthur Smith, Marcus Mariota had one incompletion in this game. And I think they played their game. And I think I think a lot of 49er fans have a problem with being able to say, hey, that team executed their game plan and they played well, instead of, well, we need to blame somebody. Somebody is responsible for this on our team. And who is it? Sometimes teams get the better of you. Sometimes teams out game plan you. And when you fumble for a touchdown, when you give up big plays, when you drop big plays, things like that, that's the kind of thing that can happen. So,
well, the way I said it was, how dare the 49ers let the Falcons execute?
Right. Like that's the best part about it. It's like people just want to assume, oh man, the 49ers blew it. It's like they're trying their best, man. Like, and sometimes this is the NFL, right? Like those guys get paid too. They played very well. And when you look back at the Falcons, and this is my fault for, I guess, overlooking them or thinking that the 49ers would just walk in even with all those injuries and get it done, is they've actually been competitive in every single game, basically, that they've been in. And like they basically almost beat the Rams, threw an interception at the end. They took the Bucs right down to the, with a bogus call. Like they're nowhere near as poor of a team that they were. The only thing that I pushed back on was schematically in terms of matchups, right? I didn't fear matchups. And what I mean by that is in 2019, they did things in 2019 to beat the 49ers schematically and personnel-wise that was hard to fight, right? Like Grady Jarrett blew up the inside of that offensive line. It ended up showing up again in the Super Bowl, right? Like it was there. Julio Jones exposed some things on the back end when the pass rushers are getting there. It's just, again, styles make fights. So it doesn't mean because the team's record or their roster is like, oh, well, you can't. But if they have things that you don't cover well, you don't do well against, they can cause problems. So that's what I overlooked a little bit. I felt like, well, I don't really see anything here on the other side for the Falcons that like pushes you to think, oh man, they can really like come in here and blow your doors off. They didn't blow the 49ers doors off, but they executed their game plan masterfully. And I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that the Falcons played very well, and they played much better than the 49ers did.
Exactly. Like how you're saying, like attacking the 49ers as weaknesses. And then I think like the thing that I overlooked was because I've given the benefit of the doubt to other teams of, okay, like Russell Wilson, everybody's booing them like first game of the season. And it's like, you guys realize it's a first time head coach. Russell Wilson just got there. Like it's going to take time for them to build chemistry. And I think I overlooked that with the Falcons, that they were starting to build momentum and becoming a better team. Not that they were already such a good team, just becoming that, building as the season goes on.
And it's just strange to see Arthur Smith execute the Shanahan game plan better than Shanahan. Just a little bit.
And because I look back, I step back and I look at it, man, and I'm like, all these first year, because we're also getting beat by a lot of first year head coaches, man. Really weird. Kyle Shanahan's been here forever. He should be putting the clinic on these guys. So I don't understand. And everybody's like, I have a question. You know, everybody wants to trade Kyle Shanahan. Do you want to trade him for somebody new and fresh that has a different mindset, a first-year head coach?
My pushback on that would be, I get it. You're upset at the loss for the Falcons.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you not to be upset. But for all of the things that you talked about with Kyle Shanahan and how much you were excited about Trey Lance being in a Kyle Shanahan scheme, and he moved heaven and earth to get Trey Lance, now is when you want to move away from Kyle Shanahan, when he is going to finally have a full year next year with Trey. Like, that's my part, is he moved heaven and earth for that. He had a plan for it. And then you want to just completely scrap that plan, bring someone else new in, and hope he likes Trey Lance enough to say, I want to stick with him, as opposed to like make another move. Like, it's reactionary. I get it. You're upset. You have every right to be upset. But at the same time, we can't make any rash decisions, especially knowing what this team just did last year when they were 3-5 and they made a deep run. They're not 3-5 right now. They have it right in front of them to not be 3-4 at the end of this game. But at the same time, you can't make any rash decisions, especially knowing that this front office is pretty much committed to Kyle Shanahan and what he's built. I think you froze. Or am I frozen? I'm looking at the comments. Can anybody see me? Oh, he froze. Oh, it's just me now. Oh, yeah. Hi guys. Yeah, look, again, to expand on the Kyle Shanahan talk. It's more about, I understand the frustration. I get it. I get the frustration. And that makes a ton of sense. And I think what I'm most frustrated in is two things: the constant questions that are asked about this offense after losses, right? And the non-urgency at the end of that game. You have 8 minutes left. You have to score. You have to get a stop, and you have to score again. What after 8 minutes means that you're just like, he had an 8-minute drive. You would have thought he was running the clock out. Yeah, well, he ran the clock out. He ran it out for them. So look, Kyle Shanahan doesn't escape blame. Kyle Shanahan isn't somebody who is impervious to criticism at all. But at the same time, the whole let's fire this guy, let's move on. It's my question always to anybody who says we need to fire Kyle is always this: with who to replace? Don't tell me Sean Payton, because once the Dallas Cowboys lose in the playoffs, whenever they do, Mike McCarthy's fired and they're going to trade for Sean Payton. It's almost a done deal at this point. Don't tell me some coach that you've never seen before. You know, like, don't point to the Giants and say Brian Daboll's doing this and this guy's doing this. What do you know? What can you predict? What I know is I know that Kyle has built something here and has been to a Super Bowl, 2 NFC title games. Kind of like the guy that everybody wants to compare him to. Funny how that works with Jim Harbaugh and Kyle Shanahan, almost like Spider-Man pointing meme, right? Get him, Spidey. But at the same time, there are no obvious replacements out there. There's not. I don't want to hear about Ken Dorsey in Buffalo. I don't want to hear about other guys. You don't know. You just don't. So you're willing to throw away what you know about this team and how they're built for the chance that maybe somebody that you bring in is going to be better. Something about an old saying my father used to say: grass greener, don't know. And I don't know. I am not a big person on the unknown. I'm a much bigger person on what I know. And what I know is that. So Brian says, Jason, do you think we need a CMC? They need more from the running back position. Elijah Mitchell will be back eventually. But I don't think that Elijah Mitchell, first of all, they can't trade for Christian McCaffrey. They just don't have any draft capital like to do it at this point. I mean, they don't have a first round pick until whatever, 2024. And I mean, Christian McCaffrey would fit right in. I mean, he'd be on the IR in 3 weeks, unfortunately. But I don't think that Elijah Mitchell returning is exactly, like going to refresh everything. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate you so much. And a double play by the Yankees with the bases loaded. Let's go. All right, I'm sorry.
Hey, celebrate your shit, bro. Go ahead.
Hey, no, it's good. I riffed a little bit on Kyle Shanahan, but yeah, you got it. Go for it, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you taking over, man. This damn Wi-Fi extender, because I'm on the complete opposite side of the house. Mm-hmm. So this Wi-Fi extender decides to refresh at all the worst times. But how's your time frame looking?
I got maybe 20 more minutes, 15 more minutes. I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good.
Cool.
Let's talk.
So we'll call it at about an hour then.
Yeah.
We're at 40 minutes right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess since Brian brought it up, man, and I'll highlight it here, the CMC trade, because I was going to ask about that. In my opinion, the trade deadline is in 2 weeks?
It's at the end of October, I believe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, November 1st. That's about 2 weeks. I'll let you go first. Trade deadline. What position group before we talk about CMC?
I know you guys don't want to hear this. I know you don't want to hear it. Defensive line, defensive line, defensive line. Robert Quinn is out there to be picked up for the low from Chicago, right? You add him into this rotation. And when you think about what Chris Kocurek has done, I mean, there's a large argument to be made that the 49ers don't move on as far as they do in the playoffs last season without Charles Omenihu or Jordan Willis. I mean, Jordan Willis, for God's sakes, literally saved the 49ers season with that pump block. So, defensive line. I don't think that the 49ers are going to make a move for anybody. Here's the problem with the 49ers right now. And this is what's frustrating for everybody. The personnel is there. It's there. You've got Debo. You've got Ayuk, who's a pure route runner. You've got George Kittle, who is incredible. They're just missing the execution part of it. I think that's it. You get Elijah Mitchell back, you'll be fine. I think Elijah Mitchell will be able to handle everything. I think that everybody has done fairly well with a brand new offensive line. Oh, wait, that Trent Williams guy might be coming back. He's pretty good. That might help. So, again, what all this boils down to is it's not additions, it's execution. At the same time, the frustration with this offense deserves to be had when you think about it's 6 weeks already, and we keep saying the same things. When are you going to execute? Who does that fall on? Falls on the coach. I don't think that an addition is necessarily what this team needs. They just need to get their guys back. Once they get their guys back, and you're executing better, guys catching balls, not having penalties that take big plays off the board, this offense will be fine. This defense is going to be what it is. And they're getting reinforcements. I mean, Jimmy Ward, Nick Bosa, Jason Verrett, pretty cool to have those guys come back for your team. Many people, their season will be cooked if they're starting free safety, starting edge. 2 cornerbacks were out. Linebacker 3 was out. Interior defenders were out. This season will be cooked. Their season will be absolutely cooked. The 49ers are going to get those guys back, some of them. And that's it boils down to not necessarily, oh, my God, you got to make an addition in terms of let's tread water and let's wait for these reinforcements to come back in because we're still the team that we believe we are. Speaking of, if I'm Kyle Shanahan, that we were in week 1. If those guys come back, we can still be that team.
Yeah, we're going to get to see we're going to get a good look at how good the 49ers are against another good team. So hopefully, everybody says they play down to their competition. So hopefully they play up to their competition in this game. But if you ask me, man, I'm glad to see all the reinforcements coming back. But there's still a lot of question marks with the reinforcements that are coming back. You got Jimmy Ward. He's playing with the club. Jason Verrett. I didn't even think he should be playing it yet till after the bye week, really. If he's running sprints down the field and doesn't even feel comfortable with that 100%, then what are we doing here, man? We don't know what we have in him. Hopefully he stays healthy. So for me, especially with the depth, I would go first and foremost outside corner. I think that's the most important thing. That's kind of what's making the defense crumble a little bit. I don't think it was missing Nick Bosa so much. I think it was the outside corner spot, man. Like Womack was the guy in, and both of those two of those touchdowns or so. It's very disheartening what I'm seeing at that position as of right now. That's what I would go for.
And to be fair, again, you're down to your fourth and fifth cornerback. Not many teams are going to be fine there. Nobody has depth like that at that position, right? It's just you didn't expect Emmanuel Mosley to get hurt. Jason Verrett was kind of found money, house money, right? If I could, right? And it was almost like, oh, just ease him back whenever. Now Emmanuel Mosley's injured, and now that like pushes that to the forefront. But again, many teams don't have a guy like Jason Verrett just sitting in their back pocket, regardless of the injury history, to say, man, you know, get in there. You got this, man. Like if he can recapture a fraction of what he was in 2020, I think, between him and Mooney Ward, I think you're fine. Like that's the expectation you should set for Jason Verrett. Do you think he's going to make it through the season? I'm not probably putting bets on that. But I'm talking about like overall play. Like at this point, you just need him to be the crafty veteran that he is. He still knows how to play corner. You just need him to be solid. You still can't run Womack, Lenore, Ambry Thomas, any of those guys over there on that side, man. Like D'Amico won't let him get put in bad positions. He just won't. So if you can get Verrett and Mooney in some capacity in this game, you feel a lot better about it just because of the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and Verrett's going to be a full go, guys. So that's some good news. We'll see how he does, man. Even if we get 75% Verrett, like you're saying, just a fraction of him, that's going to be great with using that extra 25% to just make sure he stays healthy. Don't do anything too crazy. Don't test out your ACL too much. But as far as CMC goes, man, like you said, we could use a little bit more on the offensive side as far as just consistency. That's how I think about it. The consistency of execution, not dropping the ball. And, you know, one thing that's really weird to me is we have all these outside wide receiver screens. I don't know why we don't see the wide receiver screens to the running backs as much. And Jeff Wilson Jr. was known to be one of our best receivers at running back. So I don't know what the hell's going on there. You know, he's starting to fumble a little bit. Go ahead.
No. It's a give and take, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have people when you draw up those plays. Not you. I'm saying Wolf. Like I'm just saying in general.
No, I know.
You're gonna have those people that are like, why are you throwing the ball to your backup running back when you have Debo, Ayuk, and Kittle, right? But you know, like it's so strange, right? Like it's like right now, this is the position that 49er fans are in. Is they can't really sit there and say like again. I think if Ray McLeod comes down with that deep ball, if Charlie Warner comes down with that catch, if Jake Brendel isn't penalized for that beautiful ball to Ayuk on the sideline,
fake penalty.
You're like, man, Cousin is bag. He's cooking. Look at him. Like it's so like this is what's the frustrating part for 49ers fans. It's this close, but it's been this close for how long? Yeah. And again, how many games can you kick away? Waiting for everything to lock in, right? So again, I don't think it's play calling. I don't think it's a scheme. I just think it boils down to execution. But how long can you keep continuously saying execution, and who does that fall on? Ultimately, it falls on the head coach at a certain time. So again, it's like it's a give and take. It's like if Charlie Warner catches that pass, they're like, damn, Kaz a genius, man. He faked the whole defense out. He got a pass blocking tight end, and he got him the ball for 30 yards down the field. Drop the pass, and then you're like, why are you throwing him the ball? Yeah. Dude, trying his best. Like, he is trying his best to get these big plays open. So, yeah, it's more about that than it is necessarily him just avoiding other guys or anything like that. I do think that right now he's doing it. And you know what? To be fair, Jimmy Garoppolo's playing some of his best football that I've seen as a 49er.
Yeah, man.
And it's strange to say that while this team just lost the game. Like, Jimmy threw an interception at the half that was supposed to be moving people into field goal range. Cool, whatever. It was like a Hail Mary at the end of the game. Sure, that second interception was a little high. Cool, that's Jimmy. But otherwise, Jimmy Garoppolo's been fine, man. Like, trust me, man. Like, if anybody who's ever watched my show, all off season, all last season, I had been screaming to, like, please just replace this guy with somebody who can do more. And at this point, kind of feeling lucky that he's still here, at least because I know exactly what the offense is going to look.
The crazy thing is he's the same guy and he's starting to do a little more, at least from what I'm
Hey,
seeing, man.
look at him throwing the ball down the field. I mean, like, I mean, at this point, you want him to be more aggressive, right? He throws a pass to the back shoulder in the Seattle game to Ayuk. Ayuk drops it. He throws a dart down the field to Ray Cloud. He drops it. He puts the ball right on Charlie Warner. Drops it. Like you got to start being able to be objective about Jimmy Garoppolo. It's as simple as this. And you've heard me say this, Wolf. When he plays bad, say he played bad. When he plays well, say he played well. That's it. Yeah. And life could be so simple when it comes to that.
Yeah, you don't have to be so narrow-minded to just say he's bad no matter what.
Right.
But I do think this offense, you know, we're starting to see the receiver screens a lot, and like I kind of cringe every time I see it because, you know, we saw Hufanga take one of those for a pick six on an opposing team, and I'm just kind of thinking like maybe it's a matter of time until an opposing defense takes one of those the opposite way. So I would like to see the running back screens more. Like I said, Jeff Wilson Jr., he's the starting running back as of right now. I would like to see the running back screen game used more.
I will say this. What I noticed a little bit too, and good, I'm just trying to be optimistic for 49er fans. So like I'm going to give you glimmers of hope. I saw the wide receiver screens when you watched all 22. You see that. But then I did see Kyle doing some sneaky things, some little things. And because the play wasn't positive, people are just going to forget it. But he literally runs the same motion of like Debo coming over and Ayuk coming down the block. But Ayuk, when he's about to block, goes back out on a route. And Jimmy's getting ready to throw the ball, but he gets sacked. It's a good idea because you show the screen and you have and again, this is Kyle, and this is what I love Kyle for. He's a master of putting things on tape, running things out of it, and then putting it back on the field, and and praying on the defense saying, "Oh, I know it's coming," and then running something completely different out of it. Yeah. And I will give him credit for that, using the defense's knowledge of what they've watched against them. So he's trying to do it again. Again, it's this close. One more second that block's open. Brandon Ayuk's running by himself because he comes down to like block, put hands on, and he goes like this, and he turns and he runs the other way. It's little things like that is still keeping me hopeful about this offense, and I do think that they'll eventually get it together. If this offense is able to put an entire game together, I don't think there's a team in this league that can beat them. Seriously. Yeah. What I mean by that is just executing exactly what needs to happen, meaning hold your block for half a second more. Make sure you catch those passes when they're deep passes. Don't cause penalties on deep plays. It's right there. It's right there. But again, we're third of the year through the season. We shouldn't have these same questions. Yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah. Definitely, man. And it's like with Jimmy Garoppolo even, man, you see a lot of those nuances, and I feel like you don't really appreciate his game unless you watch the film, and just the subtle little things that he does really great is pretty badass. And I was a Trey Lance guy. I was super excited to see what he was going to bring this season. Super bummed out about it. But yeah, man, I love a lot of things about Garoppolo's game. You guys go and watch some film on him. And yeah, he's got some badass stuff.
He's playing well.
Yeah, he is. We're getting close to the hour mark, bro. There's so much to talk about, everybody. I'll let Jason go in a little bit, but I'm going to ask him just a couple little closing questions, but everybody else can stay in for a little bit longer. So what do you think the keys to victory are going to be for this week against Kansas City?
I think the biggest thing is going to be how you defend this offense, right? And that sounds very easy, right, to say. Like, it's all, well, you know, just hold them down. Okay. But what I did notice is there's a little bit of a blueprint out there from other teams, especially the Buffalo Bills. And the Buffalo Bills actually ran man coverage 16% of the time for all of their games. They ran man coverage 54% of the time against Kansas City. Now, what you're basically doing when you do that is make Marquez Valdez-Scantling beat you. Make Juju Smith-Schuster down the field beat you. Make Mecole Hardman beat you. You can't, right? So Kelsey's going to get his. And Kelsey is so good at creating yards after the catch. I know we love George Kittle. There needs to be a discussion, like, at some point where, like, guys, we're 49ers fans and we love George Kittle. Travis Kelce's incredible, man. Because you know what he's doing this year? Every single person on the defense knows the ball is going to Travis Kelce. Guess what? They can't stop it. They can't stop it, right? But if Travis Kelce is going to get his, you got to limit Juju. You got to limit MVS. You got to limit Mecole Hardman. You cannot let any of these guys, because they have trouble separating. Now, Is that easy if Hufanga, Mooney Ward is out, Verrett doesn't play? No. That becomes incredibly different, right? But if you're able to get Hufanga, you're able to get Mooney back, you're able to bring Verrett in, you can run more of that man and force them into uncomfortable situations. And also, that Nick Bosa guy, he's going to get a chance to get after the quarterback. So
that guy's all right.
He's all right. He's pretty good at football, right?
Yeah.
So it's more about the blueprint that other people have laid. Everybody who has been successful slowing down the Chiefs has done it with man defense. They have not done it running zone, because if you do that, you are allowing these guys to pick you apart. Mahomes will pick you apart. Kelsey knows where to sit that thing down. You're allowing Juju to sit it in where he needs to sit it. When you make them make plays on the outside is when you're going to be successful. So when you look at what the Buffalo Bills, who have an incredible defense without Tre'Davious White, by the way, were able to do this past week, the 49ers need to duplicate that success somehow. And that's the way to do it, is by running a bunch of man against these guys.
I'm glad you brought up the Kelsey thing, man, because that was actually one of my talking points I forgot to bring up. See, I feel like Kittle's been ramping up ever since he got back from the injury, just little by little, subtly, kind of building up. And I think this is going to be his game to break out, man. This is the time to blow Kelsey off the screen and show that you're the better tight end. I can't even talk right now.
On National Tight Ends Day, also,
yes.
By the way. So Vernon Davis is probably going to be at the stadium. Delaney Walker's got time on his hands, I heard. He'll probably be at the stadium. So, yeah, Travis Kelce against George Kittle on National Tight Ends Day. There's your chance, George.
Come on, dude. Kittle, if there was ever a time, now is the time, man. You've been a few weeks removed from your injury, so let's do it, man.
He's moving in the right direction, though, I would say. I think that the Carolina game was a good indication that they were trying to get him involved. I think that last week, God, the Yankees are down 3-1. The last week, you did see him break out a little bit more, especially on plays that were a little bit broken. So, yeah, I'm fairly confident that he's working his way back, man. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What inning are you in?
Sixth, bottom of the sixth.
Oof.
Yeah, this isn't looking good right now. But hey, we're not here to celebrate. So nobody cares. Nobody cares, man. Nobody cares. And everybody wants the Yankees to lose anyway. So who cares? I mean, I'm sure it's making someone's night in here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of run game rotation. Of course, I know that's pretty obvious one. But like you said, man, I'm glad that this defense finally we're actually equipped to play man coverage. So that's a good thing. That's the encouraging thing about it. So at least there's that. And do you have a prediction yet?
Man, I want to give one Wednesday at 10 o'clock my time, but
it's early, man.
I'm not ready yet. Yeah, I'm not ready yet just because I'll be honest with you, man. I've had enough time like dissecting this last loss and talking about that. The good thing about the 49ers is like it's literally flush it, right? Sunday, the game's over, flush it. You got to move on to Kansas City. Us,
sooner than later for this one.
Right. Podcasters and analysts and anybody, we've got to dissect that game, and then we have the middle of the week where we've got to figure out. So I'm not ready for it, but I would not be shocked if the 49ers got it done here. If the 49ers play their game offensively, this defense struggles a lot. But the one unknown factor, and I'm sorry, I don't want to give anybody PTSD. It's not unknown, but it's the guy who's the X factor and can blow things up. Mr. Chris Jones on the Kansas City defense. I think we all know him very well. From the Super Bowl, he knocked down every single pass at the end of that game. But this defense is largely can be had, and there'll be the plays there. There will be the plays. Can you execute? So I'm starting to talk myself more and more into predicting a 49ers win. I just can't give it to you right now, Wednesday at 10 o'clock, man. I just can't.
How would you feel about placing a bet this week on the 49ers just to win the money?
I always do money line anyway. So if I do put it down on the Niners, they're 2.5 point underdogs at home. So that's some pretty sweet action, man. I mean, if I was going to do it, I would put it money line Niners. You
wouldn't put it on the spread this time for the Niners to cover the spread?
I never know the spread, anything like that. It's always as easy as pick'ems, right? Anytime that I've hit on any of my big parlays, it's just money line, and knowing who's gonna win the game. If I was gonna put any money down, it would be money line Niners.
You guys heard it here first, man. You guys bet with what Jason's saying.
Please,
on
no.
49ers.
Bet responsibly. Do not spend money that you cannot afford. It's literally every time that I open up my sports book, it tells me these same things. I want to reiterate that to everybody here.
if you guys need help with gambling problems, call 1-800.
Yes,
Do not
1-800.
gamble.
Yes, 1-800. Don't listen to Jay. Like
Oh
pretty much.
shit.
That's your best.
Hey,
That's your
I feel
best
it, man.
line.
I'm gonna let you go right now, but I do feel confident, man, that the 49ers can pull it out. I don't think they're gonna win, but I feel that they can. So with all these reinforcements coming back. But anyways, man, I appreciate you coming on so much more than I can say, Jason. Do you want to talk about a show you got coming up?
No. First of all, just thank you for inviting me, man. We're just talking football, man. So it's never anything, crazy out of the ordinary. Like otherwise, I would just be sitting here on my couch cursing at the TV. So you kind of are saving me a little bit, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a YouTube channel. You guys can check that out. Every week, 5-6 shows, all of those things, and you can subscribe to the Niners Nation Podcast Network, where you get, the Oh Hey There podcast with me and Leo Luna that we do once a week. So yeah, a lot of content coming out of here. Some weeks are easier to do content for the 49ers, some weeks are not. This is one of those weeks where it's like, it's okay.
Definitely. It was easier to do it on Monday than Sunday. So
100%.
I know exactly what you mean. It even goes day to day. But yeah, man, you're one of the guys I look up to, man. I love your honesty and everything. Just very up forward about it, man. So I only bring people on here, and I only want to work with people that I actually support. So
appreciate you, bro.
I hope you
keep working
for what it
is.
Keep
working, bro. Keep working. If you ever need any tips, anything like that, make sure you hit me up. Anything like that, I'm always available to talk or anything like that. There's ways to grow your network, and I think that if you continue to work, and that's the part that people forget about this whole thing, is they think it's just, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, everything's going to be. No, there's going to be moments where you doubt yourself. There's going to be moments where you're like, why do I do this? When you look at some of your views and things like that.
Yeah.
Do not. The one thing that I always tell people, if you really love this shit, then that's all you really need as motivation.
Show it.
That's it. Just keep going, and the work will show itself.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you ever want to have me on, if you ever need a guest, always
call in show Friday. Call in show Friday.
Call
in show Friday. We're only gonna talk 2012 Niners and your fond memories, not whether Kyle Shanahan should be replaced by Jim Harbaugh. None of that. We're gonna be talking about your
stop it.
You're going to talk about so we're doing a call-in show for the Spicy Squad. Anybody who's a channel member on Friday after Sprint Right Option, it's going to be strictly your favorite 2012 moments, anything like that, anything that you want to speak on. So yeah, if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel and a member, then you won't get the link. So you got to be a member, and Wolf got it.
Real quick, these guys, everybody in the chat loves to call in. So you guys call in on Friday to Jason's channel, but also if you can, become a member, support a brother as much as you can, man. Appreciate that. All right, Jason, I'll let you go watch the game, man. Take care, bro. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Take it easy, bro.
Take care. All right, guys, I'm going to throw the link into the description, into the comments real quick, so that if you guys want to call in and talk about anything. And CG, I'm sorry, man. I was trying to get Jason back to his game before the hour mark. So that's the only reason we didn't get to answer your question. But we could talk about it on the stream if anybody wants to call in. But I really love all the support and love you guys being here, man. I appreciate it. I hope we had a great show for you guys as well. My voice was a little shot today. I don't know if you guys could tell. It's weird. I feel like my voice is better when I do some karaoke during the day. Might go do some karaoke tonight. Also, it's Wednesday night karaoke at the bar. But yeah, I got a whole lot of other stuff we can talk about. I'm gonna save it. If you guys want to call in, if you guys want to ask any questions, I'll do that. But as far as all the rest of the topics I had for tonight, I'm just gonna save them for either a possible live stream tomorrow, or we'll do a live stream on Friday. So you guys let me know if you guys got any questions. We got Rohan in here. Hey, what's up, Rohan? Hope you're doing great tonight, man. Glad to see you in here. That's pretty badass. I don't know I was on the radar like that. Rohan's one of the big hitters in the 49ers community, so it's cool to see him in here, man. We got Christina Hernandez. Hell yeah, with all the clap emojis. But, I guess I'll just kind of dive back into what we were talking about, give you guys a little bit of time to throw in some questions or call in if you guys want to call in. Like I said, the link is in the comments. When it comes to Kittle, man, like I said, he's been ramping up these past couple weeks, man. I think this is a game for him to ball out, dude. If you're gonna show, if you want to be the best tight end in the league, show it. Show up Kelsey when it counts. All eyes are on you, man. In the words of Tupac, all eyes on me. So come on, Kittle. We need to see it, man. Put the team on your back, on your shoulders, whatever you want to call it. Now is the time. We've given you time to build up, come back from the groin injury. Now's the time to show what you're all about, man. Show everybody that you're not washed, first and foremost, because you're getting a lot of disrespect. This is going back to last season when people were hating on you for you being in their fantasy league and all that. So, yeah, come on, Kittle. Let's show them what's up, man. I'm not gonna, I guess I won't give any predictions yet for the game. I do think, like I said, the 49ers have a good chance of winning. It's just going to come down to execution and really ball control, man. I think the 49ers are going to have to play conservative a little bit, man, and then take shots here and there. I'm curious to see if they take a shot to Danny Gray. He was out in this last game. He was suited up, but he had that illness during the week. I know you guys know that. So he should be good to go in this game. Garoppolo, hopefully, is going to take a shot to him. He did underthrow Ayuk, so we'll see how that plays out with the chemistry between Danny Gray and Jimmy Garoppolo. But, yeah, hopefully they're doing it in practice. We don't get to be in practice right now, so hopefully that's what they're doing right now, getting dialed in with Danny Gray. But we don't have any questions or any call-ins, so I'm just going to go ahead and close out the show. Maybe go do some karaoke, even though my voice is a little bit shot right now. But, yeah. Hey, Rohan, if you're still in here, man, love your work, dude. And if you ever want to work together, let me know. That'd be great. All you guys, CG, likewise, man. Corey, did you guys and I apologize for this, man. Today was the pick 7, week 7 picks, right? And I did the show right now. I didn't mean to intercede with yours, bro. I just because Jason, I was trying to correlate when his availability was, so I just kind of had to seize the opportunity, and so that's the only reason I I don't want to overshadow anybody. I love all you guys, man, and I have the best intentions, man. I'm going to support all you guys. So, yeah, man, my Niner gang, I love you. I think it's pretty much time to call it a night. I appreciate all you guys being here. Please leave a like first and foremost before you leave. Shut down the comments right now. Leave a like. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. And we'll see when I can monetize this channel to get some memberships. That'd be great too, right? But I appreciate you guys, man. Everybody have a great night. Take care.